Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Good.
I know it's a tough game. You guys play tough. Tell me about Lauren Betts is a stretch five. You guys made her work for those points. How do you feel about the efforts, about how you kept Lauren Betts really kind of quiet, and she had to work for everything she got?
I don't know what game you was watching. That wasn't no quiet 25 to me. It was pretty loud and boisterous. She's really, really good. And she's definitely a main reason why they're number one in the country. You throw all kind of defenses at her, zone, man, double, single, triple. And, she just finds a way to get to her spots, and she's got great touch around the basket. I mean, she doesn't miss. She's really, really, really good. And, I thought we fought as well as we can. Obviously, we had a height disadvantage guarding her. And, we threw different looks at her. And I was really proud of the way our kids fought with that height disadvantage. And she's really, really good. So she was still able to kind of control the paint, especially on the offensive end.
Coach, just to follow up on that, I mean, she's sort of an old school big that stays around the basket, which you don't see much of anymore.
Yeah.
Can you think, you've been around for a couple of years, a minute. Can you think of other bigs like her that you might have coached against or coached yourself over time?
I mean, this is really, really old school. But, I mean, you think about, some of the players in the WNBA, when you think about Elisa Leslie, or you think about players like that who, their first impact on the game was, 2 feet from the rim. And I just think that she has that presence. And she's only a junior, so doggone it, we got to go there next year and watch the same show. But I think she has a chance to go down as one of the best post players to play in college basketball. So she's really good.
Looking at the defense as a whole, they start out on a quick run, go to a zone, and then it kind of slows down. Then the second quarter, they kind of find their spot again. What do you think of the full 40 minutes of defense as a whole?
Well, I think when you play a team like UCLA that, they have a lot of weapons, so when we slowed down their interior game, they did a good job of throwing it around and knocking down some threes and kind of stretch the lead. And then they also did a really good job they were really effective on the offensive glass, using their size on the offensive glass. So, that's the thing about a team that's really as good as they are, is they have different ways to attack you. And I think we saw that, at different stretches during the game. Having said that, I thought that we really fought, and we tried to make adjustments to what they were doing, and they worked for a while. And just the fight that we had to continue to compete, against a team that is just that, that they're that deep, they're that talented. And so again, I was proud of the effort that we gave to compete.
And Destiny with another double-double tonight, but she sinks three-pointers today. How much has her range improved this season?
It's improved tremendously. I think about when she came last year, she wasn't really shooting threes at all. And so, I mean, it's something that she's worked on, she's had in her game, but just to have the confidence now to go out there and to look for them. She actually called the play to get a three. She was like, run this for me. And we ran it and she knocked down a three. So that just speaks to the confidence that she has in her game and how much work she's put into growing her game. So she is not just a threat on the block, not just a threat off the bounce, but also adding the three-point shot to her game as well.
Coach, to follow up on that, you just complimented a little bit of Bet's game and, how she contributes on the floor. Conversely to that, Adams recording a double-double against Betts and company.
Yeah.
Is this one of those games you kind of point to and say, for many who may have not believed she was the real deal or played against, exceptional talent enough, is this one of those games you point to and say, she's arrived and she could play with the best of them?
I think absolutely, to answer your question, yes. But I don't think she arrived today. I think, Destiny Adams has shown throughout this whole season that she's one of the best forwards in the country. And she can play against anybody. She can be effective and impactful against anybody. And what she has learned to do is how to tailor her game to the defense at hand. So tonight, as Joey mentioned, she playing against 6'7" Lauren Betts. Let me take my game out to the perimeter. Let me take my game out and go off the bounce a little bit more. That speaks to her maturity. That speaks to her confidence. That speaks to the growth of her game. And she still manages to come away with 14 rebounds against, one of the tallest teams in the country. She's a competitor. She's a fighter. And, I hope people that watch the game can see that when you watch her play. You see all those things that's going to make her, I think, impactful on the next level.
I think Coach JoJo Lacy, another double-digit performance. How important has her being more of a reliable scorer been to this team, and then how have you seen her mesh with this team through her first couple games here?
Yeah, I think that's one of the things that we're continuing to fight for is having a balanced scoring attack, and it's coming a little slower than we would like, but seeing the way that JoJo has progressed over the course of conference play is important. And we want to continue to get that balanced attack and get more people joining the party, so to speak, along with, Destiny and Keomi and JoJo, and having a reliable and consistent attack that has a little bit more breadth to it than we've seen so far.
Coach, seemed like Keomi had some great effort on both sides of the floor. What was it like to see a game like that out of her tonight, especially against a talented team like UCLA?
It's great to see it. Not surprised at all. Keomi is a incredibly talented player, and to see her do the things that she does on both ends of the floor is not a surprise at all. So I'm glad to see her be able to have that kind of performance tonight. And again, as I just said, our task is to, continue to work to get efforts and contributions offensively from more individuals so that we can get over this hump a little bit.
And to kind of follow up on that, the schedule from here gets a little bit lighter. Not as many of the top flight teams. Even though you guys haven't been able to get in the win column yet, what kind of lessons have you learned about this team through this stretch?
Oh, well, yes. So, we play the first half of Big Ten play with an incredibly tough schedule. But it doesn't really get – yes, it gets easier, but it's the Big Ten, And so I don't even know – who do we play next? Wherever we go, I don't think we're at home. It's gonna be tough, It doesn't get easier. I know it looks easier on paper, because of the number before the team. But in the Big Ten, I just think every game is tough. And what I like about our team is we are continuing to learn how to play together. We are continuing to get better defensively. We are continuing to fight and have a resilience and a determination. You see that today. You play the number one team in the country who, I think they just beat Baylor on Monday. And, we come out here and we give them everything we have. So I feel like, we take one game at a time, and the lessons that we learn, they will show up sooner. At some point they're going to show up, and we're going to keep fighting until they do.
Coach Antonio Burnett from a BME podcast. Wanted to ask you mentioned in the Big Ten with all the competition, what do you say is the biggest lesson that you feel that you've learned about your team in this Big Ten competition so far?
Well, I think that the biggest thing about the Big Ten to me is it's a scoring conference. Like, you got to score points to win games because teams are they find ways to put points on the board. The other thing is we have such a variety of styles of play. You'll play a team with four guards, and then you play UCLA that's got bigs out the wazoo, and then you play teams that are going to press, and then you play teams that are not going to press. So the thing that I think that's what makes it fun to play in the Big Ten is, number one, you're playing against the best talent in the country. You're playing against great coaching. You're playing against a variety of styles. I just think that the lessons that our kids get to learn and see is, how much basketball how much of a variety of basketball there is out there, and you see that in the Big Ten night in and night out.
Thanks, Coach.
Yep. Thank you, guys.